Paisley Abbey has a special place in the history of one of Scotland's most popular sports, curling. Lynn Mackenzie agreed to explain why, if I agreed to have a go.
Excellent, well done, that was really good.
Okay. Let me ask you a bit about curling, because I'm fascinated by it. It was first recorded, we think, at Paisley Abbey.
Yes, we believe so. There's a record from 1541 where a couple of monks had been playing a competition against each other on the frozen lochs, throwing stones down the loch. We believe it's the first written record of curling.
Why did it never go further than Scotland?
It actually dates back to the Scottish parishes in England and Wales. They had a different culture and a different system in their sort of farming background and their sort of hierarchies, whereas in Scotland most of the curling took place in their local parish through the churches and things.
And what do you like about it?
It's a very social sport. We're very inclusive. We can take on lots of disabilities and abilities in the sport, and the age range, we go from 8 to 80, and we all play in the same game. We can play in the same league.
Tell me, Lynn, about the other side of curling, which is all the sweeping that goes on.
Yeah, once the players let go of the stone, the other team members sweep to try and influence the outcome of the stone. So let's have a go and we'll
Okay,
discuss
it
it
might
on the
be
way.
a little easier, right? Okay.
Okay, so we keep sweeping to keep the stone clean, to make it go further, and to keep it straighter.
How am I doing?
You're doing great. Keep going till we get in the house.
Oh, what's the house?
This target. There you go.
Yay.
It's in.
Is it?
Yay.
Yeah, just made it.
Just.
Cup of coffee at last, Lynn. This is lovely. Tell me, when we were down there and talking about Paisley Abbey and the monks being these early players of curling, you got quite sort of animated, and I wonder whether you feel a sense of connection with these monks.
Yeah, I think it's quite comforting to know that back in the days the monks were out enjoying and being sociable and enjoying a sport and being part of a local community. And for me, certainly with my faith, it's quite comforting to know that the sport that I play in has that background and those traditions, and that sort of is comforting for me, knowing that my faith also stems from that as well. For me, my faith is quite personal. It's quite a private thing, but yeah, I don't judge other people, but I certainly have a strong faith in that. It makes me secure and gives me hope, and it gives me that comfort in times when I need something else there. It's there, my wee rock behind me.
I wanted to find out more about the pattern that made Paisley famous and the weavers who produced it. Dan Coughlin is Curator of Textiles at the Paisley Museum.
That was it. Listen, come and sit down, let's talk. I'm better at talking. But actually, even that is enough just to give me a sense of the skill, the coordination.
Yes,
and this is for a very plain piece of cloth.
Yeah.
But tell me this, how did it come to be called the Paisley pattern then?
Well, originally it came from India, from Kashmir in India, and Kashmir was famous for hundreds of years for producing very fine shawls, and these came to Europe in the 18th century and became very fashionable among the aristocratic women of France and Britain. And they were extremely expensive. They say you could buy a townhouse in London for the price of one shawl. So the European manufacturers then decided to try to imitate these, produce a cheaper version, and these were known as the imitation Indian shawls. Paisley only started weaving them in 1805, but Paisley outlasted the other centres because they kept up with the technology. It was really the only British shawl weaving centre at one time, so the product became synonymous with the town, and people just said, could I have a Paisley rather than can I have an imitation Indian?
And so the Paisley pattern was born?
That's right, yes. But they were all God-fearing. Most of them went to church on Sundays, and in fact, when they hired the drawboys, which were the young boys who helped them with the looms, the drawboy had to read a chapter of the New Testament every day in the workshop while the weavers listened to it.
The poets and the poetry that came out of the weaving experience, tell me about that, because that was a very important part of the story.
Yes, yeah. A lot of the weaving community regarded themselves as poets, and there is a history of the Paisley poets, which was written by a local historian, Brown, in the 19th century, and he names 200 poets in it, and most of them were weavers. So many of the weavers that have maybe a quill and a bottle of ink beside the loom so they could jot down inspiration as it came to them. They mostly wrote about local scenery, the changing of the seasons, sometimes the hardships of winter and the pleasures of spring and things like that.
The most successful of Paisley's weaver poets was Robert Tannahill. Some of his work has been set to music.
Gloomy winter's new morn, soft the westland breezes blow among the barks of Stanley shore. The maid sings Fucilio, sweet the crawflur's early bell, desk Gleneffar's dewy dell, blooming like your bonny cell, my ain, my eartless deario. Come my lassie, let us stray, our Glen Kellogg's sunny brae, and blithely spend the golden day midst joys that ne'er weary o. Trees may bud and birds may sing, flowers may bloom and verdure spring, but joy to me they cannot bring unless we, my dear, down out the Newton wood, lavrocks fan the snow-white clouds, stiller socks with downy boughs adorn the banks of Rio. Around the sylvan fairy blue, feathery brackens fringe the rocks, beneath the brave of barley dews, and everything is cheerio. Come my lassie, let us stray our Glen Killoch's sunny brae, and blithely spend the garden day midst joys that ne'er weary o. To these may bud and birds may sing, flowers may bloom and verdure spring, but joy to me they cannot bring unless we, my dearie, oh.
This ancient Celtic cross used to stand on a hillside outside Paisley. It's thought to have been a marker for pilgrims travelling between Whithorn, Paisley Abbey and the Isle of Iona. As the Abbey celebrates its 850th anniversary, what better place for modern pilgrims to start their journey than here at the Barochan Cross? The pilgrims I met earlier walked to Whithorn, the site of Scotland's first Christian community. Whithorn is 120 miles from Paisley, so the pilgrims walked it in 11 stages over a whole year.
There is a feeling of doing something which is ancient and just right for mankind, to be walking with a purpose and enjoying the freedom of the countryside. Life is a pilgrimage. Everything that we do is moving towards some sort of goal. A pilgrimage is the choice to do that. It's the beauty of people coming together and walking and enjoying themselves. This is going to be the lunch stop. It has strengthened my understanding of that spirituality which is in all of us. I'm still a bit of a searcher as far as faith is concerned. I don't really understand that yet. But I do feel that there is some sort of bond between all of us, which is possibly God-given. And on a pilgrimage, something of this order, you can feel the strength and the vibrancy of what's going on around you.